you have a friend like this? Every time you invite them out, they suddenly start losing signal. They see the message. They don't reply right away. The plan becomes maybe next time. The reason is usually, I'm tired, I've got something to do, or the classic, I just kind of want to stay home tonight. And if you are that person, congratulations. Society has probably handed you a few unfair labels. Lazy, boring, hard to reach, secretly 90 years old, or the most dramatic one, you're young. Why aren't you out there living your life? That one stings a little. But let's look closer. Some people walk into a party and feel charged. The louder it gets, the more alive they feel. Others walk into the same party, smile, talk, behave perfectly normally, while their internal battery drops from 80% to 12% in under an hour. And when they finally get home, they don't feel like they missed life. They feel like they can breathe again. Here's the twist. Everyone thinks homebodies are running away from life, but maybe they are simply choosing the one place where their nervous system doesn't have to work so hard just to exist.
And this is where we need to be fair to people who love staying home, because staying home does not automatically mean isolation. It does not automatically mean someone is antisocial, depressed, negative, or incapable of having a social life. Some people stay home because it genuinely restores them, and some people go out all the time, surrounded by noise and people, yet still feel deeply alone inside. In psychology, there is an interesting idea. Each person has a different threshold for stimulation. Some people need a lot of sound, movement, novelty, and interaction to feel alive. They enter a crowded room like a fish entering water. The louder the music, the fuller the schedule, the more energized they become. But other people can become overwhelmed after one long meeting, one tense conversation, too many messages, a room full of strangers, or even a single sentence that feels a little colder than usual. Not because they are weak, not because they hate people, but because their nervous system may process surrounding signals more deeply. For them, sound is not just sound. A facial expression is not just a facial expression. A pause in a conversation can become a full-length mental documentary with 3 episodes, dramatic background music, and a bonus behind-the-scenes interview. So for these people, home is not just a place with a bed, a desk, Wi-Fi, and that one shirt they have worn for 3 days but somehow still consider fine. Home is where the volume of the world finally turns down.
At home, they can control the light, the sound, the temperature, the pace of the day, who enters their space, and most importantly, they do not have to perform. They do not have to look happier than they feel. They do not have to smile at the right time. They do not have to answer small talk questions when the honest answer is, I don't know where my life is going either, but right now I would like to eat noodles and lie down. People who love staying home often have a very rich inner world. They do not always need the outside world to entertain them because there is already a lot happening inside. A patch of sunlight on the floor can make them think about life. An old movie can bring back a memory. A simple sentence can stay with them for hours. For some people, silence feels empty. For them, silence is a room with beautiful lighting. But modern society is not always kind to this type of person. We live in a culture that constantly tells us to show up, connect, network, check in, be active, make plans, and enjoy life. So when someone stays home a lot, people quickly ask, don't you get bored living like that? But maybe the better question is, since when did being outside all the time become the only proof that someone is truly living? Not every loud life is a deep life. Not every full calendar means real connection. Not every busy person is growing. Some people live very loudly and feel empty. Some people live very quietly and feel deeply alive.
Now let's see if you recognize yourself in these signs. If you do, comment number 1, so I know how many of us belong to the quiet but definitely not boring homebody club. Sign number 1, an evening with no plans feels like a gift. No one is calling, no one is inviting you anywhere. No one needs you to appear. You can make a drink, watch a movie, read a few pages, or simply lie on your bed and enjoy the feeling that for once, nobody needs anything from you. To you, that is not sadness, that is freedom. Sign number 2, you like people, but not too many people at the same time. A one-on-one coffee in a quiet place? Lovely. A gathering with 15 people, loud music, overlapping conversations, and someone shouting, let's play a game? At that point, your soul has already filed a formal leave request. Sign number 3, after socializing, you need time to detox. Even if the hangout was fun, you still need solitude afterwards so your nervous system can return to baseline. You are not broken. You are more like a laptop with too many tabs open. Nothing is wrong. You just need to close a few before the fan starts sounding like a plane taking off. Sign number 4, you love small repeated rituals. A favorite chair, a familiar playlist, a candle, a simple meal, a clean room. You do not need fireworks every day. Sometimes one quiet evening is enough to remind you that you are okay. Sign number 5, you are selective about who gets access to your inner world. You may not open up quickly, but when you trust someone, you care deeply. You notice small details. You hear the change in their voice. You sense a sadness they have not said out loud. You may appear less often, but that does not mean you love less. But here is the most important part. Staying home can be peace, but it can also become a cage. If staying home helps you recover, create, sleep better, understand yourself, and return to life with more steadiness, that is peace. But if staying home makes you increasingly afraid of people, automatically avoid every invitation, lose motivation, and feel like the outside world is getting more frightening, then maybe you are not only resting, maybe you are avoiding. Peace makes you fuller. Avoidance makes you smaller. So the solution is not to force yourself into becoming extroverted. Please, no. Do not turn your entire life into an endless corporate team building event. The solution is to protect your peace without disappearing from the world. If you want this practical part, comment number 2, because this is where it becomes useful. First, name the emotion. Instead of saying, I'm weird, say, I'm overstimulated. I'm afraid of being judged. I need quiet. When you name the emotion accurately, it has less power over you. Second, separate the event from the interpretation. The event is, my friend replied after 3 hours. The interpretation is, they must hate me. Those are not the same thing. A sensitive mind is very good at writing scripts, but not every script is the truth. Third, use a 10-minute time box. Give yourself exactly 10 minutes to think, write, analyze, and spiral if you must. When the timer ends, do something physical. Drink water, shower, take a walk, fold laundry. Do not let overthinking rent an entire apartment in your head without paying. Fourth, prepare a boundary sentence. Try, I need to rest today, but I really appreciate the invitation. Or, I'd love to see you, but I do better with something quieter and smaller. Boundaries are not cold. Boundaries protect your energy so you can show up more honestly. And finally, go outside in doses your nervous system can actually handle. You do not have to throw yourself into a 5-hour party. Start with a 1-hour coffee with one safe person in a place that feels easy. You do not need to live louder. You just need to live a little wider at a pace your nervous system can trust. And that is why staying home is not always an escape. Sometimes it is the way a person learns to listen to themselves again after spending too many days listening to the noise of the world. But real peace does not make you disappear. Real peace helps you return to life lighter, clearer, and more honest. You are not broken just because you love quiet. You are not boring just because you do not need a crowd to feel valuable. You are not missing out on life just because you choose a warm room, a slow cup of coffee, and an evening where you do not have to perform for anyone. Just remember, let your home be an anchor, not a cage, a place you return to for restoration, not a place you use to say goodbye to the world. If this video spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep exploring psychology, healing, and the journey back to ourselves. I'm Lumi, and I'm here to share, to listen, and to connect with those who have been exhausted from being strong alone for far too long.